Well, welcome to the Monday edition of Extra Innings. Hope you've had a fantastic Memorial Day with your family or with your loved ones. Here's some truth for this evening. Let me remind you again, sometimes you've just got to get a little theological. So your view of the relationship between God and humanity probably depends a great deal on the theological tribe that has most influenced you. Maybe as much or more, even more than anything else. What kind of church you grew up in, what your parents believed about God and taught you, how the significant others in the most formative years of your life shaped your thinking about the Bible and the philosophies of life that you hold. So here's a shock. Religious people of all stripes and colors and sizes do not all see the big picture the same. That's one of the reasons that this is such a crazy time for churches these days. If you don't like what one church teaches, you can just pack it up and move down the street to another one until you find a church that teaches what you want to hear. Now, I got to tell you, that is not a great strategy for building a theological foundation in your life. So be careful. Grace is a big church word. I talked about it yesterday. I mean, like, really big. I said yesterday, the thing that separates the life of following Jesus from all of the other world religions is really who does the heavy lifting, us or God. Religious systems have a way of placing this enormous burden, the burden of responsibility on people to follow the rules, to do the heavy work of earning the approval of God by our actions and our thinking and even our motives. So remember this. Paul writes these words in Ephesians. By grace, you are saved. By grace, you are saved. Grace is this fascinating, amazing word that pulls together all of God's love, all of God's goodness, all of God's mercy, and all of God's power under one umbrella. Grace is what God does for me and to me and on my behalf because I can't do it for myself. So by God's grace, you are saved. By God's grace, you are made whole. By God's grace, you are made complete. By God's grace, you are brought back into a right standing with God. By God's grace, you are saved through faith. And this is not of yourselves. You didn't do any of this at all. You and I could never do any of this. It is a gift from God to you, because you have placed your faith in Jesus and you have stopped trusting yourself. Now go and live like it this week.